Brandon, what's your thoughts on your big upcoming fight at Bellator 197?
What's my goal? My goal is to knock this boy out.
Do you feel that this is going to be one of the better matches or main events of the year?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be fireworks, man. I think what me and Chandler both bring is exciting fights. I think that first round, you don't see many fighters like me and him that explode like that. So that first round, I believe, is going to be one of the best rounds you see in Bellator all year.
Do you feel that the intensity that you bring to fighting comes from your background in, say, hockey and wrestling?
It definitely comes from my background. I've always been intense, and definitely sports and wrestling, that helps with it. But that's just kind of always been me, So when I come in there with the intensity and everything, that's just being natural, So many years I've tried to, calm that down and bring that down, just have normal stuff. But when I step in that cage, that's when I can let it all loose.
Tell us about the impact the different teams that you've worked with, Genesis and Grudge, over the years, how they've helped shape your career.
The big thing since I've moved to Colorado and working, with Grudge and, now Genesis, pretty much the same, team. My head coach, Jake Ramos, has been my striking. Throughout the years, I didn't really work on it quite as much as I do now. And then with, Jake Ramos, he comes from a boxing background, and he was able to really help, get my hands to fly and make me feel confident. I was more of a wrestler in my first half of my career. That was my background. And since then, you'll see that I like to stand up. I like to throw heavy, and that's been the major change.
Do you feel that is something that Bellator has embraced, is a wrestling background? Seems a lot of their fighters have gone that or in that camp.
Well, I think it's one of the best bases, honestly. There's two parts to fighting. There's standing and there's the ground. And in years and years, wrestlers, that's what they worked on. So they've already got that. They already got their feet under them. They already know that part of the game. So they involve the boxing and they get better and better with it. And I feel like it's one of the best backgrounds to have. You don't worry about people taking you down, and then that way you're able to let your hands go.
In the early days, you were with Brutal Fight Night and Cage Fighting Extreme. How did those fights shape your career and help you to get to this point in Bellator?
There's just a lot of things you learn in the beginning of your career. A lot of hardships that you learn and you evolve from them. So then it was a different game then. And like I said, I wrestled a lot, and that was my background. Wrestling is my background, so I always stick to what I'm good at. And that just over the years, I was able to practice more. And every fight, you should get better. You can't get the experience in the cage until you're in that cage. That's how you get ready. All the training, everything you do, you can't really feel that cage experience. That's the only way to get it.
What do you feel is the best part of Bellator? There's so many great aspects of working with them, but what are some of your favorite?
It's just they try to be a fighter first. They try to help us out in ways, and obviously that we're able to express our own. With not having Reebok and something like that, where we have to wear something. We're able to express ourselves more. We're able to show who we are to our fans more than putting on what we're told to wear, and that's big to me. There's a lot of aspects of that I find great. We're able to be individuals. We don't put on the suit and tie. We don't put on what we're told. We can kind of show who we are.
With that aspect of it, you're able to have your own sponsors and that represent you. Who do you want to thank as a sponsor?
My big one, Hayabusa. They're great. I love their gear. They keep me going. Them and Vaporfy. Garden Your Life is another one that's been a sponsor of mine for 5+ years, and that's stuff I literally take every single day. So that's huge.
You've been fighting now for around 10 years professionally. How much, not that we're trying to get you out the door anytime soon, but how much longer do you feel that you have left?
I told myself once before that I'd go till I'm 35 years old, but you just never know. I'm not sitting there saying my road's at the end of then, but I'm not going to be a fighter that fights past his prime. If I still feel great and I still am out there getting better and performing well, yeah, I don't know. I know one thing, I'll never go past the age of 40, but other than that, when I'm feeling great, my body is, some of the best it's been, and that's the thing. I've had injuries early in my career, and now I'm finally getting healthy, and I feel like right now I'm finally being able to hit my stride.
I know, obviously, you'll be focused on, your match during the Bellator 197 that's coming up, but any of the other fights on the card that intrigue you?
Honestly, I haven't paid much attention, to be frank. It's been a quick. I took this fight about 2.5 weeks ago. Since then, I've just been pretty much focused on that and only that. I haven't really looked into too much other than that. I honestly couldn't give you another name of someone on the card right now because I've been, so focused on what I'm doing.
With that focus, the camp, and like you said, with being so short, how intense did you ratchet it up, or do you keep your normal routine?
It's definitely been ratcheted up. Absolutely. You got to fight. It's a whole different attitude, a whole different energy. I'm always in the gym. I'm always training, but you can only train at such a level for your body at all times. I'm not 20 years old. Our bodies don't recover instantly like they once did. So the intensity turns up a little bit. The cardio is a little different. Shock the lung system and everything like that. But yeah, now we're getting on cruise control now.
With the training centers and the coaches that you work with, are there any fighters out there that you work with that we might not know right now, but we should?
If you don't know a guy named Carrington Banks, he's in the Bellator 155 division. That's a guy you should keep an eye on. He's one of my main training partners right now. He'll be out there with me at the fight. He's like I said, he's a killer, and he's only getting better.
A lot of people consider the division you're in is one of the best out there. Do you feel that that's a very accurate statement based on the depth in the division?
Yeah, absolutely. With I always look at 55 and 45 as kind of those, even 70, those areas. You still see speed, you still see explosiveness, and you see strength. We're a blend of all of them. You go down to smaller weight classes than that, you'll see speed, but then you go up, past, the 85 and 205. You see heavy hitters, big guys, slower, so I feel like, around my weight class, 55 is, that's the blend of both. I honestly feel like 55 is really, 55, like I said, 45, they're getting smaller, 55 and 70 are, they're the blend of both worlds.
If fans are wanting to know more about you on social media, follow Instagram updates, that kind of thing, where should they check you out?
You can follow me at Brandon Girtz MMA on both Instagram and Twitter, and then just Brandon Girtz MMA and Brandon Girtz on Facebook. So I do a lot of my stuff on Instagram. It's hard these days to try to do all of them, but try to put it out there for the fans.
Definitely. So obviously you're planning on winning this match. Are you expecting a finish, or are you expecting, more of a long distance match?
I absolutely expect to finish. I don't think neither me or or Chandler are ones to go for the distance. We're not the, Ben Henderson type that like to drag people in waters. We go out there and we, you'll like I said, you'll see a lot in that first round, because we go out there and we try to finish people. So I absolutely see a finish, and at the end of the day, I see me knocking them out.
Sounds great. It sounds like it's going to be one heck of an event, the Bellator 197. Thank you for coming on the show, Brandon.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
Welcome.